Well, hello everyone. It's time for another update, and I didn't think I'd be sending you one until Monday. Today is Sunday, March 15th, and we need to relay some more information to you. So you can probably plan that we will have a daily video update, even if it's very brief from time to time, because the commissioner is going to be meeting with us every day at 12:30. Today we met at 4 o'clock. A lot of my leadership team comes in for those meetings. We have some discussions, so we're working very hard over spring break to just stay on top of things for you. If you have any questions as we go through this and you want to shoot me an email or you'd like me to answer something, I'd be happy to do that. You know, one of the things we don't talk about very much is signs and symptoms and what's happening across the nation, and because I think you can find that stuff everywhere. Our real focus is on what's happening in Smoky Valley, what's the school thinking, what are we going to do, and I'm concerned about the kids here in the Smoky Valley and our staff as well. You may have seen in the Salina Journal front page, in the Salina Journal today, Dickinson County Schools. So now we're getting close to home. Solomon, Abilene, Chapman, Hope, and Harrington all closed. Now, I believe those closures are probably for 2 weeks. Don't quote me on that. Why are schools closing? Do they have coronavirus in the school? And the answer still is no, they do not. Coronavirus is not in the schools. The precautions basically are to stop the curve from continuing going up, bringing together these large groups, containing the virus to slow the spread of COVID-19 in Kansas. We cannot, honestly, we can't wait until there's a pandemic in the schools before we decide that we've learned something and we're gonna close the schools. In fact, as I look across the nation and on the map, 20 states have closed the entire, all the schools within the state, and just had a news brief a minute ago. New York now has closed all their schools. West Virginia was one that did not have a case in the state and closed their school. What they're doing is avoiding these groups from coming together. Little kids are spreaders. They may contract it, may not hardly know it. We might think it's the flu, and they're spreading it. They're little spreaders. So we've got some news for you in just a minute. But if you I just mentioned the flu. Here's a graph that caught my attention today. We're not going to post this because we start posting things, they're outdated in a very short time. On this graph, you can look at the flu and the percentage of deaths that we see. And this last little piece over here is 65 and over, at age 65. And it's still under 1%. So when you want to compare it to the flu, not even close. This is the graph for what we know so far on the coronavirus. Once you start getting in the upper ages, 60, 70, and 80, if you're above 80, 15% are deaths. That's the concern. What we're really concerned about is not necessarily ourselves, our own little family, but what we're doing as spreaders and to the entire nation. So let me just move on here a little bit. We had an email from someone from Salina that works in the healthcare profession, that there are only 5 positive cases in Johnson County, 1 in Franklin County. Salina is still clear, and again, encouraging us to use good hygiene. Cover your mouth when coughing, don't shake hands, practice social distancing, and self-regulate. Quarantine yourself if you feel like you have some of the symptoms that you've all been reading about. I'll get to that in just a second. Here's what I want to talk about today. We again had our meeting with our commissioner and the superintendents. Here are the changes right now, and we talked about these changes being fluid daily. The governor will be speaking. I'm looking at my clock. It's about 5:45. At 6 o'clock this evening, by the time you see this video, the governor will have already talked to the state of Kansas. recommending all schools shut down March 16th through the 20th. All schools. Now, for us at Smoky Valley, that's pretty good because we're on spring break. Okay, we're cool, right? We're good. Well, there are some schools like Salina coming off of spring break, getting ready to have kids. It's Sunday evening and they're notifying everyone. I would imagine they're going to follow the governor's recommendation and not have school. So then there are those that have spring break after next week. So they're going to all of a sudden be notifying parents that we're going to start a week early. So the entire state will be shut down this next week, the 16th through the 20th. What does that mean for Smoky Valley? That's what our focus is right now. That means no practice, no athletic practice. That's pretty much all we have going this week is practice. Remember, on the last message, we closed our buildings. We're disinfecting everything. We wouldn't let even teachers in right now. Everything's locked down tight except the district office. If you want to come in here, actually the district office is closed. I'll be working this week, but the district office is closed this week as well. So no practices. In fact, I think Mr. Swisher has already sent some information out to the coaches to begin notifying their players. You will not be on school grounds. We're going to keep those groups to a minimum, and we'll be getting more direction later on in the week. There's a task force put together right now, and that task force is working on some online learning objectives in case we get to that point. I will tell you that the commissioner said today we are shut down for 1 week and possibly longer. Now, I heard that loud and clear. Possibly longer means that parents and guardians, as you prepare for scenarios that could include possible school closings, you need to be considering what that means for your family and your household arrangements. What phone calls need to be made? Who do you need to be contacting if, in fact, this goes longer? Now, right now, it's working out well for us. 59% of the schools across the state have spring break when we do right now. But there are those that have a spring break later and those that will have to make some other arrangements. But the no practice rule will be very clear. There'll be no activities taking place on the school grounds this next week. Tomorrow morning, Monday morning, we will be meeting with Lindsborg City officials. There'll be several of us coming together, probably looking at an emergency plan of operation. We have several issues. The hospital has their own. Bethany Home has some things that they need to follow. They don't know what the schools are doing, so I'll be sharing some of that information. McPherson County Health Department has called for a meeting. They're trying to do that Tuesday morning. Our board has already scheduled a special board meeting for Monday, March 23rd to just kind of come together on a plan and what's all happening, what are we doing, where are we. A lot's going to happen in the next 8 days before we even have that special board meeting. One other thing, I will be asking I guess I have the authority to do that, so I will go ahead and make that announcement today. Also, we will not have school for students on Monday, March 23rd. Monday, March 23rd will be a day for staff only. We have some training to do. We have some procedural things to go through. I think I alluded to that a little bit earlier, but right now I'm going to make that announcement. Students will have a all-week spring break with no practices, and Monday, March 23rd, they will still not come back. It will be staff only. We'll be working with some classified people, our bus drivers, our cooks, several of the people, all of the people that work for USD 400. Now, that is providing that the State Department, either in the Health Department or the Kansas State Department of Education, does not have some other direction for us. So actually, the governor on my clock is going to be speaking in a few minutes, and I want to hear what she has to say. But she is supporting the fact that she would like all schools to be closed. That is her direction. They've been working with legislators today. Randy, our commissioner, has been working with the health department, legislators, superintendents, another group to be working on some virtual learning things. A lot is going on. we will need a time to spend with our staff when we come back for training about what's all happening. Remember, we talked about the social distancing, and I think I'm going to be able to shut it down for you, but you can look for another video again tomorrow. Remember, these schools that are closing are not because they necessarily have cases of COVID-19 in their school district, in their community. These are local county health officials making this determination. Remember that curve we talked about. If we don't take steps to keep large groups apart, it starts going up higher, and little spreaders walking around, and we're close together in tight proximity. I think we can, I talked about being prepared. I think we really need to be looking at where your children going to stay. Do you need to get another babysitter? Does somebody need to take some time off work? Just be prepared for that. As of right now, no school this week, spring break, and Monday the 23rd will be staff only. And I'll be talking to staff, and we'll be getting some information out about that. But that's all I have for you this evening. We have another conference call again tomorrow at 12:30, so sometime in the afternoon you can expect another video update from me. So thank you very much.